I literally pulled up an old like outline for the sort of inevitable scripts that everybody who lives in this city eventually write. Like it like has a dozen of these sitting there. I'm like, well, I'm never making this. And I was just like, this is going to be a lot of fun.
You know, we created the characters on a lark as just this fun thing, but as you live and breathe them for 10 years, you find out so many things about them that, you know, we didn't think about in the first game. All of that backstory and the character traits and everything, those come out as you're playing. And I think that's the fun thing about it, is you get to discover the characters. And nobody else gets to tell you you're wrong. Nobody else is giving you that input. It's coming from you. It's such a cool experience.
You know, the great thing about these games is that so much of the story can be informed by some of the stats. And I rolled an intelligence of 6, which meant that he couldn't read. And that was all that I needed to know about Grog going forward, was that he was just a rage-bound muscle machine that is easily confused. And, you know, it was nice actually getting in with the other characters, because I figured someone that was so intimidating as he is, it would be nice if he liked shiny things and cute things and was very protective as well, and was like a big brother figure. So there's that dichotomy between the two sides of his coin.
I didn't really know what it all entailed outside of seeing my brother play with his friends, which it seemed like a lot of math whenever they were playing. Like they weren't as as RP heavy. And so sitting down at the table, I mean, you sit down at a table with Laura Bailey, and the second we start the game and she's like, hi, okay, I'm gonna get in there. I was like, oh shit, this isn't just like rolling dice, like we're acting. And, you know, through the course of playing this game, it becomes addictive in a weird way, because it's improv, and it's a way for, I mean, this sounds so cheesy, but us as actors to be able to have sort of theater of the mind with all of each other and just play and imagine. And it's changed my life in the biggest way. And I'm so grateful that I sat down at that table.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Ashley. Druid was one of the last classes left, and I couldn't decide. There were all these like subclasses between air and water and fire and all the elements. And I was like, well, I can't pick one. So my thing will be, I'm on a quest to catch them all. I'm gonna be all of them eventually. And that was it. As everyone else has said, now when we make characters in our current campaigns, we're like thinking about it for months.
Pages and pages of backstory.
Yes, just what do I want out of this character? But then it was like, anyone want a beer? Let's just roll some dice. But it was great because it really allowed for the world that Matt created to affect and inform our characters on this really grand way, just like real life.
And it was just supposed to be us around and laughing around a table for one night, so it really didn't matter. But we've spent a decade with these characters, first around a table, and then, you know, with the Legend of Vox Machina and with all the other places that we're bringing them to life. You spend that much time imagining a character. It's more nuanced in our minds collectively, and now a lot of minds, than any role I've ever been attached to in anything I've ever done. And it's been like that for like half a decade now. You know, it is the definition of a happy accident.
And if I may, in the process, finding out a lot about ourselves as we went. It's been great, and these characters are now so much a part of us, and it'll be wild to see these things that we just kind of crapped out in a night. Now they are the stars of a show, and it's pretty cool.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there was a historical kind of a misunderstanding of what role-playing games were because of like the Satanic Panic, and just a general misunderstanding that this was not a thing that most people could enjoy or was approachable. That's part of the reason we started even doing our thing online, is we kind of wanted to show people and give permission to be like, oh, this is something that me and my friends can do, and it looks like a lot of fun, and feeling like it isn't going to be a scarlet letter on their chest to admit that they rolled dice with their nerd friends.
I feel like I couldn't stop talking about it. Even our home games, I was telling everybody, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. How is everybody not playing Dungeons and Dragons? The greatest.
I suggest we run right now. We fight.